Hi everyone, I wanted to also give you some feedback on your group assignment for Module 4. In this assignment, I wanted you to sit down and go through all of the materials on how to create a DMP or what was in a DMP, and then go back and look at the study documents that we had for our document and just create a very simple list of some 5 elements that would be included in a DMP, and then a timeline with just 10 elements in it. And I needed to see that you understood that if it was in the DMP, you needed to have a milestone or deliverable for it in the timeline. So again, I saw really a lot of beautiful submissions from people. Some were very detailed and some were very streamlined, and they were both correct. So when you went into Module 4, what I wanted you to do was read through all of these materials. And I could tell from some of the questions I was getting from people that you were trying to do the assignment without reading the material. And I tell you straight up, that's not going to work. I actually set up the assignments to ensure that you are going in and both watching the lectures and reading the material. So you're going to need to do that in order to accomplish the assignment. For this assignment, or this module, you actually had 2 assignments. One was you had to create your Access account for REDCap, and then I needed you to submit it using the assignment tab so that I could actually give you a grade. And you're going to see that I do that in several of these modules. You're going to have an individual assignment and a group one. Make sure you submit on the assignment tabs when I ask you to, because that is how I actually get your grade into the grade book. So make sure you do that. Let me know if you have questions about it. Next, I wanted you to go in and actually look again at the assignment link. And I always put these here in the module itself, and then also over in the assignment folder on your left side over here. I'll show that to you in a minute. And again, when you have an assignment, you can go into the link and you can view the rubric and you can see what I'm looking for. So in this case, I wanted you to identify 5 elements for the DMP. And if you had 3 or less, then you got a low score. If you got at least 4, then your score was coming up. And if you got all 5, then you got the full available points. For the timeline, again, I needed you to have a minimum of 6 elements that were identified. 8 got you to 25.5% of the points you could get for this section, and if you got 10 or more, then you got full credit. But the next thing I wanted you to do was make sure that you showed me that you could link the DMP elements to the timeline. So you can see that you actually, 33% of your score came from that as well. So I really recommend that you look at the rubric as well before you start working on your assignment. Now, in this particular assignment, again, I just needed you to identify 5 or more elements from the DMP. And if you went into Proxca and looked at the sections that I recommended you look at, she essentially lists all those elements. And all you had to do was go and pick the ones that made sense for this project and list them for me. That's all I needed. Some of you did more, and that was fantastic, and some of you did exactly that, and that was great. And a few of you, I could tell, were not looking at the material because you were unable to identify the elements. And it really should have been as simple as pulling them out of Proxca and asking yourself if they applied to our example. And again, I reminded you that you needed to watch both Part 1 and Part 2 lectures, and also you could go into the mock scope of work and look to see as well what your deliverables needed to be. So, what were the things that you guys turned in? You turned in some really fantastic stuff. So, one group wrote me a whole data management plan, which was great, and I want you to know I read through every part of it. But you could also have just turned in this first section here where you identified the elements, and you would have met the requirements for the assignment. But again, this was beautiful, and I had a fantastic time reading through it, so kudos to this group. This also, some people turned in timelines using spreadsheets, and I thought that was fantastic as well. And you can see that they, took a lot of time to go in and think about what their timeline deliverables or milestones would be, and did a very nice, very realistic breakdown of the months that might be involved. So that was a lot of fun as well. And some groups did exactly what we needed to do. I love this group. They went through and they came up with their 6 elements, and then they made certain that they linked into their timeline elements here. So for example, for data transfer, you can see that if you come down here into items 8 and 9, these both deal with data transfers, and their data locking guidelines will relate here to the locked database. So very nice. And then finally, I really liked this group's assignment as well too. They did their 5 data management plan elements, and they gave me a really nice timeline. So all very good solutions to the project, and I enjoyed viewing them all. So again, remember, when you're doing a group assignment, I am as interested in the fact that you're able to get together and to communicate as a group as I am with the contents of the assignment. You can be very streamlined, and as long as you are hitting the primary elements of the rubric, then fantastic. If you want to also go in and dive deeper into the assignment and really play with it, that's great as well, and I promise you I will read everything that you send to me. So as always, if you want me to look at your rough draft, please reach out to do so. I will not give you the answer, but I'll let you know if you're on the right track, and if you're not, I will give you guidance. Take care.